Hey everyone, this is Big Angry Presents Hearthstone Steering and Swearing. This is going to be a new thing. My friend Line Noise here. Say hi, Line.
Howdy.
He is a Hearthstone. Well, he's really good at Hearthstone, and I obviously am not because of my previous series, Big Angry Plays Hearthstone Badly. So, Line is going to be helping me out with Arena. We're going to start off with choosing a hero for a new arena run. We have Gul'dan, Uther, and Garrosh. I have a feeling that you're going to tell me to take Uther because Paladin is really, really good in arena right now.
Paladin is arguably number one. It's either Paladin or Mage, and they're really close. Warrior is absolute garbage, and Warlock. You can make Warlock work, but you have to. It's it's a much higher skill cap trying to do Warlock correctly.
So, Paladin it is, huh?
Yeah.
Alright.
I will serve.
Yes, you will, sir.
And so for anybody that actually is even better than I am at Hearthstone, I'm almost infinite. I'm averaging like 5.5, 6 wins.
That's pretty damn good. I mean, you've had one or two 12-win runs?
Yeah, I only popped 12 wins once, and I'm good enough that I'm infinite with quest gold.
Okay, that works.
So,
I got to thank you for helping me out with this. You are my best friend, and this is going to be very fun because there's going to be a lot of swearing, probably.
possibly. More so as my night proceeds.
Yeah, you do enjoy the booze. Let's see. First pick: Mana Addict, Wailing Soul, Gnomish Experimenter. This pick sucks.
Yeah, this is complete balls, no matter what. But Mana Addict requires way too much support. It's unplayable. Gnomish Experimenter, I just that battle cry, no. And it 3 mana 3/2 to draw a card and possibly wreck it. 4
That's
mana
no
3/5.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 mana 3/5, and you hope you
Okay.
don't silence something awesome.
Oh, this is. Oh, I
Weapon.
hate this. Contact versus True Silver.
You hate this because you want them both, but you take the weapon first.
Okay. Flesh-eating Lord of the Arena
Another pretty
Repentance.
weak pick.
Yeah.
It's, in Paladin, I would go with the flesh-eating ghoul. Depending in other classes, it might be Lord of the Arena.
Okay, so Flesh-eating
But
Ghoul.
especially with the dudes, flesh-eating it is just that little bit better than it is in other decks.
Yeah, dude's referring to the 1/1 that you get from
Yeah,
the
the hero
hero
powers.
power. We call them dudes.
Ogre.
Ogre, never not
Everybody
ogre.
calls them dudes. Oh, there's plenty of things better than ogre, but not in that set.
Right. Cult Master, good combination with Flesh-eating Ghoul.
Well, Cult Master is good for the same reason. I mean, it's better in this deck than others for the same reason that Flesh Eating is better in this deck than others. And I think Cult Master is actually the pick here.
Okay, let's
Booty
go
Bay
with Cult.
Bodyguard is too slow and too easy to kill. Ogre Magi, it's not bad, but you'll take the Cult Master. Um, Bomber.
Bomber. Bomber's
Stormwind
fun.
Knight's technically a slightly better card, but you're few cards in and you haven't seen a single 2-drop.
Yep. Minibot.
And there's a 2-drop. Shielded Minibot. Basically the best 2-drop in the game. And there's the second best 2-drop in the game.
Argent Protector.
Argent Protector. This is where Paladin wins. I mean, Paladin has so many, two of the best 2-drops in the game that almost always 2-for-1 against other 2-drops. I mean, the early game is nuts.
Yeah. All right.
your early game is shaping up, so you take the Spiteful. You're not, if you're far enough behind that you need a Killbot, you're gonna die anyways.
Let's see how many minions I have with Death Rattle. I have, doop-a-doop-a-doo...
Nothing, yeah.
None. Purifier's an option.
Twilight Drake is hard to play in Paladin because you have so many good early drops. Like, the odds of you having enough cards in hand on turn 4 to play Twilight Drake for value. Plus, Twilight Drake, if you draw Twilight Drake, if you top deck Twilight Drake late, it's garbage. It's just useless.
Yeah.
I would actually take the Purifier.
Okay, let's take the Purifier.
It's above the vanilla
All
line.
hail the bisexual agenda has left the server.
Yeah, it's above the vanilla line, and it fills in your curve nicely. I mean, it's a good spot. This is
Alrighty.
Frost Ellie.
Frost Ellie. Freeze a character. Doesn't matter if it's a minion or a hero.
Yeah. Leopardome's not bad, but Paladin, your early game is developing pretty good already, and Leopardome is really weak against ping classes.
Alrighty. I'd imagine Dread Corsair here.
If you have Dread Corsair in your hand on the turn that you play a True Silver, it's amazing. In any other situation, it's garbage. You take the Gnomish here for cycle.
Okay.
4 mana 2/4 is not great, but it replaces itself.
True. Looking at this one, I'd say it's between Shattered Sun and Spectral.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it's. I mean, the Shattered Sun looks a little bit better than average because you've got the shielded mini-bot, but I think I like the Spectral Knight better here.
Okay. Let's go ahead with that.
It's just so hard to clear.
It is.
It's so hard to get off the board.
That can't be targeted by spells or hero powers really comes in handy, especially on a 4/6.
Well, and 6 health on 5 mana is just, it's not, you can't clear it.
Mm-hmm.
It's if he wants to clear it, it's 2 for 1. This is a funny one. Demolisher is one of those cards that everybody wants to love, and then it just isn't as good as you want it to be.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, this is
Yeah.
Emperor Cobra.
Yeah.
Guaranteed kill.
Well, unless it has DS on it.
Yeah, but you don't run it into a DS.
That's true. It does actually have
Just run
to do
something else in.
damage.
Yeah, that's why you run something else in first. This is the concept that you couldn't pick up earlier.
Yeah, that's an easy consecrate. I do not have nearly enough mechs to use Cobalt Guardian.
Cobalt Guardian's basically unplayable. That's something when your other 2 picks are Angry Chicken and Light Warden.
Yeah.
Arcane Nullifier is actually a pretty decent card, but Muster for Battle is insane.
Okay.
Yeah, Mustard is just ridiculously OP in Arena. Hey, look, Light Warden. Sorry for the jinx.
Light Warden, Young Priestess, Bloodseal Corsair.
This is garbage, garbage, and worse.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep.
Surprisingly, the best one in the set is the Young Priestess. Because
Having a little lag here, so...
it does something remotely useful when it's played. And it's a 1/2/1. I mean, it'll clear with a 2. It'll clear some of the 2-drops if they don't ping it. And Minibot, easy.
Minibot.
Am I lagging?
You were a bit, but now you're good.
Fuck it. Fuck Charter.
Yep. This is a good pick. I'm guessing Bach, Blessing of Kings.
Yeah, yeah. Kings is it. Oftentimes you really don't want to take buff cards because of silence just wrecks you, but it's literally the strongest buff card in the game.
So we have Crap, we have Taunt, and we have Reach. I'm guessing this is going to be Arcane Golem.
Give me a sec.
Line is consulting the tier list over on Hearth Arena.
And I'm also just pondering.
Also pondering, yes, that worked.
I mean, Bloodsail. You can rule out Bloodsail Corsair.
Okay, that's
Vast
out.
majority of one drops suck. The odds of actually getting useful out of that battle cry. I mean, yeah, taking the second half of a win axe is kind of fun, but it's still a 1-2 for 1. It's not going to do anything to the board.
Yeah.
Sun Fury is actually. I mean, at this point, it's kind of like a style question. It's like you have to look at, because Sun Fury and Arcane Golem are pretty close to the same tier. I mean, you can't play the Arcane Golem. You can't really play it on curve. You have to hold it for reach, which always makes your hand a little awkward if if you draw it in the first few cards, because it's kind of blocking.
Yeah, it's kind of dead weight there.
Whereas, I mean, like in Arena at least, blank Sun Fury Protector on 2 is actually not horrible.
It's still a 2/3, minus the battle cry.
It's still a 2/3. It kind of comes down to a style question. Like, you have to look at the rest of the deck. Like, do I have a bunch of early drops that I want to taunt up, or do I have a bunch of bricks that I want to taunt up late game? How much reach do I have? Do I really, how much do I really need reach? Right now, the only reach you have in the entire deck is 1 True Silver.
Yeah.
Whereas you already have a pretty solid early game. You have a pretty solid late game. You're not probably gonna be far enough behind on board that you need to turtle. So the Sun Fury Protector starts looking like it's just more often than not, it's gonna be just a River Croc.
Yeah. So Golem.
I would go with the Golem. It's a little bit riskier, but I think it's gonna pay off.
Okay. Speaking of reach, hi, Reckless Rocketeer.
Well, Light's Justice is actually pretty strong. Like I've seen
We
Light's
do
Justice
have
do
Mustard,
so
though.
much work.
We do
But
have Mustard
you do have
already.
Mustard. You do have 1 copy of Muster. I would still take the Light's Justice,
Okay.
to be honest.
It is a 1 mana, so...
The 6 mana on the Reckless Rocketeer just makes it really, really clunky.
Yeah. There's Solemn
This
Vigil.
is Vigil.
Okay.
Paladin is so short on draw. I mean, Haunted Creeper's okay. Haunted Creeper's totally playable, but it's just so hard to get enough draw in Paladin. And that one works so well with the hero power. Being able to discount it down.
Yeah.
Consec into Solemn Vigil, or trade a bunch of dudes into Solemn Vigil, Mustard into Solemn Vigil.
Yeah. This one, I'm guessing maybe Seal or Loot Order?
I would actually, yeah. I'm gonna leave that up to you, because either one of those is okay.
Okay.
At some point, this has to be more than me just backseat driving.
I'm gonna go Seal of
But
Light.
I want you to explain I want to show your work.
Okay, I'm gonna go Seal of Light because, A, we don't have any heals in the deck right now. There is no means of me getting health back. And if I already have True Silver or the Mustard or the Light's Justice, then that adds 2 attack to that.
Well done. I agree.
Excellent. Stormwind Champion. Or should I Clockwork Gnome?
No. No. Your first
It's a
inclination was
Stormwind.
right.
Yeah.
Let's behold the might of Stormwind. No question.
Okay.
Alright, dragon check.
No dragons.
0. Shit.
0 dragons.
Because a value Blackwing Corruptor is an amazing thing, but if you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
value it, it's pretty shitty.
Yeah. And we're 24 of 30 cards right now, so I'm not going to be playing around trying to find a
not
dragon.
Happening. No, not happening.
Might this be another flesh-eating ghoul? Hmm.
Give me one sec.
Novice Engineer is
I'm
kind of
going
shit
for a
because it's a
second
1/1
opinion.
for 2, but it does cycle.
It's a 1/1 for 2, but it cycles. It's basically just like a blank in your deck that doesn't cost you a draw. Like, you don't even give a shit what the card is. It just gets you to the rest of your deck faster.
Gotcha.
For some reason, I'm like blind. I cannot find Flesh Eating Ghoul on the tier list. I hate it when that happens.
Hmm. Could always Control F.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Ah.
Okay, the Flesh Eating and the Novice are literally neck and neck. At which point you go ahead and look at the rest of the deck and you try to figure out where you're at.
Well, I already have the 1 flesh-eating already, so...
But you don't have... I mean, you've got... How many cards, like... Okay. It's a question of, like, how many cards in that the 2s would you be willing to just slap down on 2? Like, how many of those are you playing on curve?
Shielded
And
Minibot,
it's really only 3 of them.
Argent
The Minibots
Protector.
and the Mad Bomber. You don't want to play the Argent Protector on curve
Right,
unless you
right,
coin
right.
something else in front of it.
Right.
And you really don't want to play Seal of Light on curve. That's not
Oh,
something
God,
you play
no.
on curve. You've got the same 3 cards. I mean, you got 3 count that you're willing to play on curve on 3: the Cobra, the Ghoul, and the Purifier. And the Purifier, yeah, if you value the battle cry, it's cool, but you're also just willing to slam it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more important. I mean, is the Novice Engineer something that you want to just slam on curve, though? Not really.
No.
I mean,
No.
you can, but it's not really that much better than just hero powering.
Right. It gets you an extra card, but it's going to get wiped out no matter what.
Well,
It's going to get pinged off.
You don't have a lot of, like, big swingy cards or huge late game threats that you're trying to draw into. You know, you're going to win this by... You're basically... I mean, you got to look at what your win condition is. This is looking like a tempo deck, which is dependent on playing on curve and making good trades. Flesh Eating Ghoul, you can play on curve, and you know, you get a couple of other trades, and it up trades like crazy.
Uh-huh.
So I think you go with the Ghoul here.
Okay.
But you're really hoping you can get a 2-drop somewhere in here.
Okay.
In these last couple of cards.
Well, there's Deathlord, which is a 3.
I despise Deathlord.
It's turned against you too many times?
I refuse to play it. I've been betrayed too many times.
Alright.
I don't care how good it looks on paper, I refuse to play it. And you're curving low enough that Divine Favor is potentially playable.
Okay. Definitely more playable than Murloc Tidecaller.
Yeah. Murloc Tidecaller is
Oh,
yeah,
motherfucker,
this
there's
one
a
you put
dragon.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You take the dragon. Hang on. Is that right?
I don't have any taunts.
Yeah.
I don't have any taunts.
I would take Fairy Dragon for curve, but Fen Creeper is close enough that I'll leave that one up to you.
I really like taunts, and I
You
didn't
like
have any,
taunts.
so
That's fine. That's fine.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's the secret that rarely anyone uses. Eye for an eye.
No. No. The other two are both crap, but they're equally
No.
crap.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Do I have? I have way more
You like
fours than
taunts.
sixes.
You're
I
allowed
do
to
like
take Mobish on
taunts.
here.
I like taunts.
Well, and you don't have. I mean, you have a ton of fours, but you don't have. Like, there's a bunch of those that are not just. It's like the turn when we were talking about the ghoul versus the novice. Like, is this something that you're willing to just slap down on 4 regardless of board state? And a bunch. I mean, several of Kings, Consec, Cultmaster. Those are not something you just slam on 4.
Right.
Wailing Soul, you can probably just drop. You can.
Right.
You don't care what the board state is. You can just drop it. Nomish Inventor, you're not happy about it, but you can just slam it.
You're
Mobish
right.
Warden is totally okay to just slap on 4. You don't care what the board state is.
You're
Just
right.
Fucking drop it. I mean, it's one attack. It's probably not going to do that much, but at the very least, it's a huge stall on whatever he's trying to do, possibly setting up into a consec.
Yeah. I'm
This is
liking Worgen, yeah.
Warrior. You're still hoping for a 2-drop at some point, but
Belcher!
it doesn't look like you're going to get it. Yeah, you went from playing tempo to playing a pretty... This is a really slow tempo deck. I'd still call it a tempo deck. You know, you're looking for efficient trades and trying to stay on curve. But you're curving pretty high. But you have several taunts now.
I do. I'm going to take that Belcher.
You can out... Yeah, you're going to take the Belcher. You can outpower all but the most ridiculous aggro decks. Because you have a decent start yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would take, like, ladder kind of face hunter to actually out-aggro you.
I like those odds.
Like, you're not going to get Jazerg down unless you draw unless you have shit draw and they have perfect draw.
Alrighty.
By the same token, you've got huge mid-range power, so you know if somebody's playing greedy control, they're not going to get there. This is really well positioned. I mean,
Excellent.
you don't have. It's not like godlike draft. I mean, you don't have like 3 true silvers and 4 consacks. Because I've seen those decks before, and they tend to go like 10 wins.
Yeah, you've run into those.
I mean, you could. This is. I'd say this is easy 5. You can easily do 5/6 if you pilot this well.
Okay, cool. I hope to pilot it well. We will be back in a bit with an actual game or 3 with this deck. This is Line Noise helping out with steering and swearing. I'm Big Angry, and we'll be back in a bit.